So we are recording. Mr. Chuck Emery, do I have your permission to record this interview for the purpose of published through Starlight Sessions?
Yes.
Cool, thank you so much. So today we have one member of the band Brother from Salt Lake City, Utah. They're an indie alternative band. Chuck Emery, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first thing that's most important, given that you are a band and you're only one person, who else is in your band? Let's start with that.
Yeah, so we have 5 members. So myself, Chuck, we have Nathan Standage, Erika Goodwin, Elias Pratt, and Scott Knutson.
And has this been sort of, you're the lead vocalist, is that correct?
Yeah, so lead vocalist, songwriter.
Yes. So your latest track is called Easy, and it was written through COVID, as I understand. How was the recording process with that? I mean, I don't know what the rules are like in Utah, but I'm sure, like everywhere else, getting together has been tricky.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we've always done all of our recordings from home. And so there wasn't a big change there other than just getting together. And so me and Nathan do a lot of the recordings, just mostly us two at his home studio. This song, though, was a little bit different as, I wanted to really capture how isolation felt. And so we recorded it here at my home studio. I just did the instruments and everything all by myself here to really capture that singularity and everything. Other than the drums, I can't do drums here.
Drums is always the hardest. Often is the hardest. So is this track part of an album or is it just a single?
Yeah, so it's part of our new album that's going to come out. It's titled Volume 3. So it'll be our 3rd album that we've done as brothers. So
interesting. What is, like, Easy was to capture isolation, so is that like the message of the track?
Yeah, like the whole message of it was, I mean, written through COVID. There's, for us, for me especially, we had a huge tour planned. We had a lot of things going on. We had a lot of momentum, and when COVID happened, we were actually on tour. It was our first day of tour, or first night of tour, and all of it was canceled. I had worked super hard to like set it all up because we were going to LA, a couple different California dates, by Southwest in Texas, and then to Treefort in Idaho, and that was all canceled. And I was like so devastated because I had worked for months on setting that up. And then it was like, oh, you can't play any shows, you can't really do anything, and all that momentum was lost. And so I had a lot of really bad panic attacks and anxiety just because I felt like there was so much I needed to do, but I couldn't. And that was all just circumstantial. Like it wasn't necessarily anything with the band or anything like that. It was, everybody was going through that. And so that's where the song comes from, was like, hey, it's good to slow down and to take it easy and to recenter and refocus and everything.
Well, and I think that there was a little bit of, the first few weeks of COVID was kind of like, oh, well, we'll be over this soon. And then there was a point when we realized it wasn't going to be over as soon as everyone thought, where everyone, I think, hit a wall, particularly artists and things like that. Because I think I had quick history. I'm a gig booker and band manager, generally, is what I've been doing for the last couple of years. And I had to cancel, I think it was 47 shows, including tours and stuff. I had American bands coming in. I had a band coming from Mexico. A lot of things. And it, as you said, took a lot of time. And I think everyone kind of took a blow. Even one of the bands I managed, we had their biggest tour yet booked. And again, 2 weeks before we were supposed to hit the road, much like you guys, we got hit. The same as, I guess, I mean, it happened to everybody, but it felt very much like you were alone, I think, because everyone was pretty alone.
Yeah, it happened to everyone, but it felt like a personal hit.
Didn't it? It was a very interesting thing. So what's your guys' as a band? I don't like, you know, for lack of a better word, I guess, what's your sort of mission or plan as far as like beyond, obviously you want to tour and become more popular. Naturally, that's, you know, why you make a band, but or in part, but what's your guys' kind of mission or message as a group? Do you, you know, is there anything you can tell me about that?
Um, it's definitely changed over time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, our goal since like the beginning of 2019 was like when we talked about it, we had like this meeting. We're like, what do we want to do? And the theme was gold. Like we want everything we do to be gold,
Mm-hmm.
and so it reflects a lot like in our photos and in our branding. Like everything we do is that like honey gold, honey mustard type of color.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like our main focus is that if we put out a song, we want to make sure that it hits that gold standard, that it's the
Mm-hmm.
best that we could do. Or if we have a music video for a song, it's the best music video that we have ever done. So we just keep getting better and better. That's like our overall goal,
Mm-hmm.
uh, personally as a band. But yeah, like you said, and it's the goals are to get popular, to get more momentum, and you know, chasing, living the dream.
Yeah.
That's the we'll live the dream.
Yeah, you just want to be international rock stars. That's literally all you're asking. It's not too much, I know. But you know something, if you have the desire to treat it like a business and to go forward as a business, in my opinion, which, you know, take it or leave it, is that you'll probably go, you know, the more you treat it like a business, the further you'll get with it because you kind of um, you know, it's so personal, the music that you make, it's hard not to take everything personal, but you're selling a
Mm-hmm.
product. If you intend to make money at it, you know, and I know artists that are content just playing for fun
Yeah.
forever. They don't have a desire to put out albums or songs or just, they just want to play. Totally fine. But if you have a band and you want to tour and you want to actually get paid to make music, you
Mm-hmm.
have to treat it like a business.
Yeah,
Just
it's
have
hard
to.
work. It's hard work, and you really got to put the work in. And I think that's what where a lot of bands they fall short,
Mm-hmm.
especially starting out, is that they expect a lot of things to happen to them
Mm,
instead of getting them. And like for us, I used to think that way when we first started. Was like, oh, why aren't we getting these shows? And then I started changing my mindset. Was like, no, we gotta go get the show.
mm-hmm.
And because of that, it's like we've been able to tour all over. Like we went to London and Paris and played over there, and we set that all up. Like no one asked us to come. We're just here. We are. Let's do this.
Yeah, well, you have to be very motivated beyond, again, music, really, you
Yeah.
know, because, and it really sucks for a new, younger band or any band to work really hard on a track or a music video and drop it, and you get like 1,000 streams in the first 30 days. And
Mhm.
you're like, but it's so good. You could write the best song in the world. If there's no marketing behind it, nobody's going to see it because everything is so saturated.
Yeah.
The market's so saturated. So you know, you have to, whether you know you work your buns off or you employ people to do it for you that know the market,
Mhm.
you know, one way or the other, it's going to be a lot of work or a lot of money or both.
Yeah.
You know, and so I always say I have a rule that if you spend $1,000 on a track, you should have at least $1,000 to promote that track.
Yeah. Definitely true.
And that's always a rule. Whatever you have for a project, you should at least match it in promotion.
Mhm.
And it's something that's worked quite well for me with bands I work with here. So you're releasing this new album, right?
Mhm.
And normally I ask what's next. So that's obviously what's next. If you could gig tomorrow, I'm assuming that would be what's next. But obviously that's not in the cards, I don't think, for a little while.
Yeah.
Um,
That.
so beyond the album, I'll ask anyway, what's your plan? Where, as far as like, where do you guys see your next project? Like, obviously, if you're releasing this album, it's recorded, mixed, mastered, and ready to go.
Mhm.
So you'll be working on new things. Or are you working on music videos or, you know, volume 4, or what can we see from you guys
Yeah.
after this?
So for me, I'm a huge fan of music videos. And so if I can make a music video for every song that's on the album, I totally would. Just because I love anything that has to do with film and just what it does to to music, especially when it's your own song and your own idea going into the music video. But again, personally, because Brother is the project that I started,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the things that we do, I'm obsessed with the number 4. And
Okay.
it's something that I've always, like, a number that I've always loved. And it wasn't until recently that we had 5 members. That's not my favorite. I definitely like having 4. But our on the albums, like, we try to put our best song as the number 4 spot on an album. And so my hope is that this volume 4 is the best album that we will ever write. It'll be like our masterpiece, hopefully. But,
Well, no pressure. You know,
yeah.
no pressure. Well,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's superstition, or, you know, favorite numbers and things like that. I think there's a lot that plays into that, even if it's just a bit of a placebo effect with yourself. So, you know, I guess as long as you don't put so much pressure on yourself that you go crazy over it,
Yeah. I
that's
want
not a terrible thing.
yeah.
But I mean, that's almost no, like the number 1 single off almost any album that I can think of is rarely song 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that doing song 4, that's interesting. And also maybe gets people to listen to the whole album, which I know is getting harder and harder to do these days. The single release. Something I ask every artist, every band, your piece of advice. If you had one piece of advice to give to a young artist or young person starting out in a band, what would be your legacy advice?
I guess there's 2 pieces. One is the classic don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's classic, but it's true.
yeah, it's classic, but it's true. And then the other one, I guess, is more of like a songwriting tip, and it's something that I didn't really that I used to do, and then kind of got away from it for a while, just because I started getting in my own head about songwriting and making music. But it's something that we implored for this new track, Easy, that we released, was the classic country music recipe of all you need is 3 chords and the truth.
Oh, there you go.
That's what makes a good song. And so that's my tip, is all you need is 3 chords and the truth.
That's interesting. I've never heard that one. I like, because I'll be honest, I asked that question a lot of times, and some of the answers are the same naturally over time. But that's new. I like that one. That one's new. I'm gonna write that one down. I
Definitely.
like that. People that have helped you along the way, maybe thank yous to people or shout outs, whatever, you know, term you prefer.
Yeah, I mean, a big thank you to our record label that we're on, Handwritten Records. They do a lot for us for release and helping us really push our music
Mm-hmm.
and everything that they do. Our management, his name's Jaron through Vermelho,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Portuguese word. I didn't know that for a long time. But yeah, he does a lot to keep us going and motivated, and always chasing after the next item, or the next quest, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is a good way to put that. But yeah, big thanks to those guys.
Cool. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that maybe you'd like to touch on, or any, you know, questions about your music or anything that I didn't ask you that maybe I overlooked?
I'm not sure. I mean, we just released the music video for Easy as well,
Okay.
days ago, last Friday to be exact, which plays a lot into that isolation and what it's like during lockdown and kind of going crazy, but trying to take it easy at the same time.
And were you able to record that with the whole band, or was that another remote project or digital? I actually didn't see the music video. I got a bunch of links, and my apologies, I didn't see that one.
No worries. Yeah, it was all done here at my house again. So I wanted to keep all of the recording, most of the recording, done here in
Mm-hmm.
my studio, and then we just filmed the rest of it in my living room and hallway. So it was just me acting in the video, and then 2 others who were filming and directing.
Right. Well, and that's interesting. So you really did keep pretty isolated theme throughout
Mhm.
that track. I like that. But it's not really a negative track though, is it?
It's it has
It
sad, like lyrically it's sad, but over kind of a, I don't know, I wouldn't call it happy, but it has like a familiar type of tune to it.
yeah, well, I listened to it obviously before the interview, and I thought to myself, I was like, well, this isn't like a sad song.
Yeah.
I think it's more what's the word? Somber.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily sad or happy, but it's just, yeah, I like, and familiar, as you said. I like that. No, brother out of Utah. These guys are actually really banging, and you should check them out if you haven't. Chuck, we'll make sure all your links and everything are in the post for this. Thank you to sorry, not Andrea. Well, Andrea too from Starlight Sessions, but Georgie from LPR for setting this up for us. And you can catch all this good stuff on Starlight Sessions all the time. Thank you again, Chuck. I appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you.